ever since that day she came here, I've been filled up with a desire to be like her. You know, the way she loves God? She's always looking how she can help others. A few weeks ago, she was creeping out late at night to check up on an old woman who was dying. You know, before that, we had visited a woman in the village almost every day. This woman was so sad because she had lost her only child. You know, Kateri gave her a thread of hope to keep on living. It's not as though Kateri herself hasn't seen troubles. You know, if only you knew what she's been through. I could tell you. I want as many people to know about Kateri and the kindness she brings to the world. You won't be sorry you listened, I promise. Kateri was born in a village on the Mohawk River. You know, a terrible thing had happened to Kateri when she was a tiny girl. Smallpox had stole the lives of her parents and her brother and many others in the village too. You know, there she was, only 4 years old, her face badly scarred, left part blind. You know, still today, she has the partial blindness and the scars. But you know, I never see the scars because she's beautiful where it counts, in her heart.
Kateri.
You know, her aunt and uncle raised her, and Kateri would never say a bad word about them. You know, maybe they loved her, but they didn't understand her. She was so different from the other girls. Her uncle was a powerful chief, so of course he wanted her to marry one of the young men in the village. And no matter how much they begged and pleaded, and even tried to force her, Kateri would not marry anyone. Because you know, Kateri only wanted one thing in the whole world, and that was to have a Christian baptism. Kateri loves to walk and pray in the woods. She'll disappear for hours, walking through the trees, noticing God's creatures. But you know, some of the people turned against her, and they said untrue things about her. There was a troublemaker in the village, and that woman started to accuse Kateri of having relations in the woods with her husband, one of the hunters. You know, dear, sweet Kateri, who only only ever wanted one thing, to be close to God. Well, by this time, Kateri's community had moved across the river to Gaganawaga, close to his Jesuit mission. When she was 19, she got the courage to talk to Father James about getting baptized. She had to prepare and learn many things. But she did learn. On Easter Sunday, Kateri's wish came true. That day, she went into the chapel as Tekakwitha. But when she came out, she was Kateri Tekakwitha, a new name to begin her new life with Jesus. You know, after that, her love for Jesus and Jesus' mother too grew as big as the sky. Kateri had a different way of seeing the world, and some people turned against her. She felt she didn't belong anymore, so one fall day, she quietly left her village and started out north to us here in Canada. She traveled the rivers and swamps, lakes, and it's a long journey from the Mohawk River to the St. Lawrence. It would be hard for anyone, let alone someone so slight and part blind. Before Kateri left, the priest at the mission wrote a mission village in Canada to let them know that she was on her way. He wrote, "I'll send you a treasure. Guard it well." After 2 long months, Kateri finally made it here. You know, I'll always remember the day I met her. It was a miserable October for weeks before she came. But on that day in early November, the sun shone so warm on our faces. We had all come out to greet her. Not long after she came to us, she went to receive her first Holy Communion. She was so happy to be in service to Jesus and to receive him every day at Mass, usually twice in one day, one at 4 and then again at 7. Everyone sees how Kateri is so inspired. She tells us how she wants to begin a community of First Nation nuns. It would be the first in the world. But our spiritual director, he feels as though she's too young in her Catholic faith for this. You know, sometimes I imagine that she won't be around long enough to begin this convent. But maybe in some way that I don't understand yet, maybe she'll still be an inspiration for others. Kateri, blessed lily, Kateri, the lily of the valley. Kateri, Kateri, the lily of the valley. Did I tell you that she's been so sick? Ever since we took that trip down the river in January, she's been getting weaker and weaker. You know, that day we went down the river, it was bitter cold, and the wind was cutting through us like knives. I could see that Kateri's always been frail. I could see that from the day that I first met her. But I didn't think that only 3 years later, she'd be like this. Unable to leave her bed. I'm worried. I don't want to lose her. None of us do. Kateri, sweet Kateri. I'm glad you've all been able to listen to her story. I'm sorry, I must go. Kateri needs me, but I hope to bring back good news. Kateri.
Jesus, I love you.
Wait.
Why? She's gone. She's in heaven now.
No way. I know she's in heaven. But do you see that?
Yeah, her scars have completely disappeared.
Yes, I see. They're disappeared.
It's a miracle.
Now we see she was truly a special person who was among us all along.